right, so Zoom. I said that they would crush earnings, and my God, did Zoom crush earnings. Absolutely incredible. I called this going over $325 by the end of the week. Turns out that was a freaking joke. It went up to $489 highs. And we go ahead and look at here over on Webull. Which, by the way, if you're not a part of Webull or want to be part of Webull, looking to open up a new account, if you're sick of Thinkorswim, check the links down in the description. This is one that I just opened up and have a public account for. The Chaos Crew folks know all about it. They see everything that I buy into. And so, this is something that's really it just took off. And obviously, it's pulled back towards the end of the week. But this past quarter, their revenue was more this past quarter than it was for the entire 2019 year. So it was just an absolutely insane run on Zoom. And Christian and I called this one. And even if you were able to get into Zoom before earnings or had Zoom before earnings, you're still very much in the green despite this insane pullback on it because it was sitting at $299 as of last Stock Watch Sunday, still up $369 as of the close on Friday. So this one was absolutely insane. I still love Zoom. You're asking me if it's still worth holding on to. If you have some shares, if you've taken some profit, that's exactly what you should be doing. But I think you should be, holding on to some. I think this continues to go higher eventually. Rocket came in and beat earnings as expected, but the reaction was not pretty, as we all saw for pretty much all of the earnings this week. It was an amazing first couple of days of the week last week, and then everything kind of fizzled out. But Rocket did beat earnings. I was correct about that. And we're going to get into the where I was wrong part because it's very interesting. But anyways, I was right about earnings, and I think that they continue to go up, after things start to settle out and the market starts to turn back around. The reason I say this is because the only outlook that they gave, and one of the biggest reasons they sold off was because they kind of gave a little bit of a, I don't know, I don't want to call it a warning, but just put everybody on notice that, hey, winter's coming, and you can insert your Game of Thrones reference there, but the things slow down in the wintertime. And so I guess people didn't really care for that. They didn't like that. But listen, the real estate market, especially with the residential real estate market, is hot. No signs of it slowing down anytime soon. I think Rocket continues to do well here. Crowdstrike said they would annihilate earnings. And they did, as we all know, they did. But then obviously the entire market took a dump as well. I think this is a really good opportunity to get in on the cheap for Crowdstrike. I actually ended up buying some Crowdstrike myself after earnings and the sell-off. So I think that this is a really good one to grab onto. We'll go ahead and look at the chart here as well. You can see here that it's pulled back and started to actually make a little bit of a nice, decent run at the end of Friday. So I think we can get this back up over 135. This should do well and try to retest those all-time highs. But Crowdstrike was an absolute stunner last week. DocuSign, this is one I'm actually going to bring Christian in on because estimated earnings per share was at 8 cents, and they beat it at 17 cents a share. Again, it sold off as everything else did, but Christian said that they would not beat earnings. And I said my bold prediction because he called me out trying to see if I was going to actually sugarcoat everything to say I was right this week. But my bold prediction on this was 15 cents a share. I was only off by 2 cents. And so, yeah, look, DocuSign I think is still a buy. And Christian, I think you probably would say it's still a buy as well.
Yeah, I like DocuSign. Screw you.
Last one here is Smith & Wesson, and I said they would beat. Estimated earnings per share was 39 cents, came in at 86, and they crushed it. Again, in my opinion, this is buy the F and dip. I still own it, still feel confident in this going into the election as well. I mean, record gun sales. Look, everything was coming down, so I think the SWBI or Smith & Wesson is going to be a steal here at $18 where it closed out on Friday. Now, here's the interesting thing, and I'm going to do this. When Brad was wrong. I didn't expect the stock market to tank the last half of the week. So some of these price predictions that I had for DocuSign and CrowdStrike and Smith & Wesson, including Rocket, the only one that really kind of panned out and stayed there was Zoom, even though it went bonkers on Monday night. That's the thing with earnings, and really you can't do much about earnings. They could have done double whatever the earnings expectations were, and it still would have sold off because of how the rest of the market was reacting. So we always talk about how holding through earnings, there's always inherent risk as far as that's concerned. And we always try to play things that lead up into earnings, and then if you want to hold on to some shares, that's your prerogative. But also playing the after earnings come out and looking for opportunities there. And so, in my opinion, I think there were some really good opportunities on all of them, especially as the market continued to come down. We're going to talk about what we think the market's going to be doing later. But there you have it. That's where I was right, where I was wrong. I think things are going to come back this week.